Hi, I am romance author Nancy Harkness, and this is Writer Unedited Live number 89, where I just sit at my writing desk, nothing fancy, nothing special, and talk about whatever's going on in my writing life and often my personal life as well. I just want to point out that we have company today. This is Skoda, one of my two Tabby brother cats. And by the way, my publisher, my self-publishing house is called Tabby Brothers Press, in their honor, because they're so cute. Moby is in the living room. He declined to join us today, alas. If you miss a previous live, you can always find it on my YouTube channel, and I'll put the link in the comments below. So, it's hot. It's August. We had like 2 gorgeous days. I guess it was sort of over the weekend where it was in like the low 80s during the day, and then it went down to like 64 at night. I was honestly chilly one night when I went out to look at the beautiful huge moon that we're having right now, and it felt wonderful. I will never complain about being chilly in August, of course, unless it goes on too long. And it's August, so my daughter, Dr. Darling daughter's wedding preparations are starting to really pick up now because she gets married in October. What's Gail say? Maybe Moby is taking a break. It was 117 in our... Gail, how do you survive that? I just... That boggles my mind. I mean, it hit, I think, 100 here one day, maybe 2 weeks ago. And, you know, I just shut myself up in my house. I refuse to go out. Do you go out when it's this hot, or do you stay inside? I'm curious about that. So anyway, wedding preparations. Dr. Darling daughter's getting married in October, so things are starting to pick up. You know, all the big things like the venue and the florist and the DJ, those have all been, the contracts have all been signed for those. But now we get to do what I call the fun details. For instance, I spent 15 minutes designing custom M&Ms to have at the cocktail hour for the reception because there's no chocolate on the menu there. So I'm gonna have a big glass bowl of M&Ms that say, you know, the bride and groom's names and have champagne flutes clinking and have hearts and are the colors of her wedding. So that was a lot of fun. And what else did I do? I ordered something completely frivolous for the rehearsal dinner the night before. Custom swizzle sticks for the drinks. It's harder to say than it looks. Because I saw them in a Facebook ad, and I had to have these custom swizzle sticks. They're not just, the names are not just imprinted on them, they're actually laser cut so that, you know, her name is on top of the swizzle stick, the top of the swizzle stick, and then her groom's name is on the bottom of the swizzle stick, and they were just too much fun for me to resist. So we're getting custom swizzle sticks. Gail says we mostly stay in. That seems very smart to me. Oh, gosh. There are more viewers. Say hi, guys. I'd just like to know who's here. I'm not going to put you on the spot, I promise. What else did I do that was fun? Oh, so Dr. Darling daughter has decided to wear an heirloom pendant that's from... her dad's side of the family, but the chain on it was too short. She has, you know, the wedding dresses are usually kind of low cut, and so she wanted a longer chain. So I said I would go shopping for a longer chain because who doesn't love to wander around a jewelry store, especially when you're actually going to buy something? I have to confess the chain was not totally exciting because it needed to be simple, and it also needed to be fine enough to fit through the what do they call it? The thing that you thread it through to hold the pendant on. It has a name that I can completely forgotten. Actually, I probably haven't forgotten it. It's in the data banks because I can feel it in there. I just can't retrieve it. You guys know how that is. So got a beautiful chain, way more expensive than I expected. I guess gold is very high these days, but it looks perfect with the pendant and it's the right length. And so that's going to be my wedding gift to her on top of the wedding itself, of course. And then And then the other thing I got to do is comb through Etsy, which is one of my favorite shopping sites, for decorations for what's called the cookie table, which is a Pittsburgh tradition. Dr. Darling Daughter is getting married in Pittsburgh because that's where she lives. Oh wait, somebody had something else. Oh, Sally says you're gobsmacked by custom M&Ms. Another thing I saw on a Facebook ad. I just, why not have some fun with a wedding? So that's for fun. That was totally my idea, and luckily Dr. DD was okay with it. So back to the cookie table. So in Pittsburgh, there's a tradition, which I think is a great one, where family members and guests are invited to bring homemade cookies, and there's a table set up to put them on. And this is in addition to the wedding cake, because cake must be had at a wedding, any wedding that I'm organizing anyway. And you eat the cookies during the reception, but you also get take-home boxes to take home with you. And so, we want to decorate the cookie table. And one of the things that people seem to decorate with a lot is bridges. I don't know if you know, but Pittsburgh is famous for its bridges because it's where three rivers come together. And they have bright yellow bridges. Some of them are bright yellow. So I was having so much fun finding bridges and a sign and just all of the links I sent to Dr. Darling's daughter so she could choose what she liked. And Sally says, God was looking out for everyone. We didn't make me a mother of the bride. Well, Sally, we all have things we enjoy. I enjoy decorating cookie tables and getting custom M&Ms because to me, those are the fun little touches, and I love that stuff. So I was really curious. I actually wanted to know why Pittsburgh has a cookie table. What was the deal with the cookie table, since I had never heard of it until Dr. Darling Daughter's best friend got married in Pittsburgh. And the mother of the groom actually went completely insane and baked so many cookies that they had to buy a separate freezer for them. And they were delicious, let me tell you. But I was like, this is a really good tradition. So it turns out that it has strong ethnic and religious ties. It's linked mainly to European immigrants of Catholic descent, particularly present in industrial areas that housed Italians, Greeks, Poles, and other Eastern Europeans. And the legend is that in Western Pennsylvania, it started during the Great Depression when the ingredients for a whole huge wedding cake were just too expensive for the industrial workers to afford. And so instead, the mother of the bride and also female relatives, grandmothers, aunts, back then, gender was, women did the baking. They all baked cookies and brought them to the wedding. So it sort of spread the cost of the reception, of having dessert at the reception out. There was no cake, just all these cookies. And it also gave them a chance to show off their baking skills, which is, for women of that era, that was a point of pride. And so I think it's a lovely, lovely tradition. And mostly because I love cookies, but also the sort of everybody bringing stuff. I, who never bake, am either going to bake brownies. I have a friend who's going to teach me how to bake good brownies. And the friend is bringing her special cookies, which are Jubilee Jumbles, which I have had before. They're delicious. But everybody brings something different. And you sign up and you say, I'm bringing, 3 dozen cookies or whatever. And then you sort of see what shows up, I guess. But it's very exciting because often, in this day and age, you have to supplement the cookie table with professionally, with buy bakery cookies. A bakery will come in and supplement, but Dr. Darling Daughter says there is no need for that. The cookie sign-up sheet is full to overflowing. So that's really cool too, that everybody wants to contribute. So what are people saying? Sally says, don't misunderstand. I am in complete awe of you. And did you say what flavor cookies while I was out cold on the floor? All different flavors of cookies. That's the fun part. You bring everything. As I said, I'm bringing brownies. I checked with Dr. Darling Daughter. She said that was an acceptable form of cookie. I personally really love brownies, so I decided we needed some of those. Kelly says the cookies are supposed to be baked by family and friends. Exactly. So that's what's happening. Family, but family on both sides and friends on both sides are baking the cookies and bringing them, which I just love that whole idea. Sally says, fascinating about wedding cookie history. Well, of course you would enjoy the history. You like history, so I'm not surprised. Gail says, I guess that cookie info makes sense. I'm Italian heritage from Rhode Island, and we always made or had trays of cookies every day. Exactly. It's definitely very strongly linked to Italian, but also Eastern European and Greek, evidently. So according to the websites that I trolled through to find my short version of cookie history, the only debate seems to be is whether it really started during the Great Depression or if it was sort of there all along, but I like the Great Depression story. Kelly said, for Christmas, my daughter baked a few thousand cookies. Whoa. Kelly, that's a lot of cookies. Jeez. Whoa. 1,000 cookies. Actually, I had a neighbor who used to bake gazillions of Christmas cookies, most of which I honestly didn't like, but she had this one Christmas cookie that was chocolate sort of wafers with a mint filling. You know, it was like a sandwich cookie, so chocolate wafer on either side, and then mint. Oh my God, those were delicious, particularly if they were chilled. Fantastic. What else? I thought I saw another comment come up. Nope, evidently not. So, so that's wedding stuff, because I spent some very delightful hours on those. So here's a little bit of tech news, which I thought was fascinating. I attended a virtual, Zoom webinar that BookFunnel put on, because they're about to roll out. It's not, I think they're trying to shoot for November. They're going to roll out a new feature where I, as an author, can sign a digital book, like a book that would be on your Kindle, and then you can download it from BookFunnel. And I thought this was a really interesting idea. I'm curious, could you guys say in the comments whether this is something you'd be interested in, getting a signed digital book? So, I would use a stylus to sign it on the screen, so I'm not actually touching the book, which I personally think is kind of what I like about autographed print copies is, the authors actually touched the book, which, DNA of the author. It's silly, but I'm really curious what you would think of that. Kelly says it takes a team of 4, 8 days to bake, decorate, and pack up for gift giving. Jeez, Louise, that is a major commitment. Why does she do that? I hope she thinks it's fun. I mean, I hope everybody thinks it's fun, the team of 4. And I can see the packing up of the cookies will be a lot of fun. Get pretty packaging, and I'm all about the packaging. Can you tell? Fancied up M&Ms, cookie table decorations, the baking, not so much. But wow, that's very generous of her and slightly nuts, in my humble opinion. Gail says absolutely to the, oh, sorry, what's my computer doing here? To the signed digital copy, huh? Oh, cool. Well, BookFunnel's doing it, so when it rolls out, I will certainly let people know that it's available if they want to copy that way. Okay, book news. So I'm going to say it for the 999th time. Royal Kaleva Raoul is available for pre-order for $2.99. It's a special price. It will go up to $5.99 the week after release. So grab it now while it's cheap. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. And of course, proceeds, well, a percentage of my royalties will go to Harmony Dog Rescue in Pittsburgh, Dr. Darling Daughter's recommendation. Sally says, to be honest, I'm a little creeped out by the DNA angle. Well, I mean, there's not really DNA on the book, Sally. I assume, anyway. But you know what I mean. That the authors actually touched my book, the book that I have. I think that's cool. Sorry, I'm weird. What else was I going to say? So I haven't made any more progress on getting Raoul ready for production because I'm still waiting for my proofreader to finish up. She had a very busy schedule this month and then had some craziness in her personal life that got in the way too. So, but that's okay. I'm okay with that because I started Mikkel's book. But I'm going to talk about that more next week when I'm a little further into it. But the cool thing is early reviews, because I sent out advanced reading copies to my review crew, so I'm getting some early reviews coming in now that are being posted on Goodreads and BookBub, because you can't post on Amazon until release day. But I am absolutely thrilled by these reviews, and I'm going to share a few words from one of them because it just makes me so happy. And here's what the review says, among other things. I first fell in love with Gabrielle and then Luis, but Raul, whoo boy, as they may say in Caleva, he is muy caliente. In my opinion, Raul is a combination of it all. He is commanding in his role as Prince, a really good son and family member, and one amazing boyfriend. So, thank you, Gail. It's a wonderful review. It just made me so very happy. And two of the reviews have mentioned how much they like, including Gail's, by the way, how much they like Raul's bodyguards, which I just wasn't expecting to hear about, but it's very cool. And as I said in my Facebook post, it just goes to show how collaborative the relationship between the reader and the writer are in a book, because you know, I think I've written one thing, and every reader brings her own unique perspective to the book, and they see other things in it. And I can't tell you how cool that is for me as an author. I love to see these new angles on things. And I mean, I like Daria and Pascal too, the bodyguards, but I hadn't really thought of them as a major presence, and yet two reviews have mentioned them. So obviously they're more present than I thought. So what else are we getting here? So Sally says, I hope they washed their hands first, the author, unless they were baking cookies. I'm sure they did, Sally. I always wash my hands before signing books because I don't want to smudge them, right? But there's still got to be a little transfer of DNA. Come on. What else? Yes, reminding you also for the 99th time that coming up this month, if you are a newsletter subscriber, is the free autographed bookmark giveaway. All you have to do is open your newsletter, respond to it, and say something like bookmarks in your header, and give me your mailing address, because if you don't give me your mailing address, I don't know who to send them to. So make sure you are a subscriber, and make sure you check your August newsletter. And that bookmark goes with these two gorgeous bookmarks from the earlier books, which some people should have because they also, because I give these away for every book. What else? Sale books. The Agent is $2.49 for the rest of this month. It is the third book in the Consultant series, and really fun. Tully, the agent, actually rides a horse to the rescue in this book. I always wanted to do that, so I found a way to do it because Tully grew up in Western Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh connection, anyone? I don't know, just sort of happened. And he rode horses. He knows how to ride a horse, so that was a fun scene for me to write. And there is a touch, of course, of suspense in these. All the Consultants books have suspense in them. But you don't have to read the other Consultants books to read this book, by the way. They're all standalone. The romance starts and finishes within each book. So no worries on that. And I just want to remind everybody, my gosh, this book is so thick in here. Look how thick that book is. All right, compare it to Tully's book. Look at the difference. Oops. It's like two books. Gabrielle is two books. It's kind of squishy, right? Jeez. Yeah, it was during the pandemic. I just kept writing. So, just want to remind you that just for another 72 hours, Royal Caleva Gabrielle is on sale for the extremely low price of 99 cents on Kindle. The regular price is $5.99. So, if you haven't bought it yet and you would like to own the digital copy, you should grab it now because it's a short sale. And by the way, it is also on sale in the UK for 99p, in Australia and Canada for 99 cents. So if you are an international reader, again, grab it. while you can. And that's about it for me. What does Sally have to say? Looking forward to meeting those bodyguards. Yeah, evidently they're a lot of fun. Rochelle, hey Rochelle. Rochelle's my fellow dragon. We were dragons together at a costume party at a reader event. And that's it for me, guys. Do you have any further comments or questions? I have to admit, I'm really intrigued by the digital signing thing, because some people will bring their Kindle covers, to a book signing, but only so many people can sign your Kindle cover. So this is a cool way to get your digital book signed. And since I read almost exclusively on digital now myself, fun idea for me. Okay, my next live, barring unforeseen disasters, will be August 20th at 2 p.m. And I will be talking a little more about Mikkel's book then. Oh yes, Rochelle says she sees my pretty kitty. Yes, we'll point to Skoda one more time, sleeping on the cat tree under the window. Sally says, do I smell more books, bodyguards? I hadn't really planned on writing books about bodyguards, but what I've decided actually is that I will try very, very hard to work Dario and Pascal into Mikkel's book in somewhere, just as a nice little Easter egg for all you fans of them and Raoul's book to see again. Although, to be fair, Mikkel's a little annoyed with them because they allowed Raoul... Oh, I shouldn't tell you this. Never mind. They allowed Raoul to do something that he shouldn't have done. And they actually went with him to do it, which is the only reason Mikkel is not furious with them, because at least they went with him. But, yeah, wow. I can't tell you this stuff yet. So, because Raoul isn't out yet. Anyway, sorry. Teaser there. Yeah, so that's it. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. It is always such a joy to see you all. And I will see you next week. Oh, Sally says, ooh, bad boys. Well, Mikkel feels they were not responsible bodyguards. Not bad boys, because they did stick with the prince, but that they should have stopped him. Although, as the king points out, it's kind of hard to stop a prince if he really wants to do something, because he is, after all, the second most powerful person in Kaleva. So, Gail says, have a great week. I'm going to go drool over Raoul. Yay, Gail. Dave says hi. Dave, hey, so good to see you. Or not see you. So good to wave at you. Okay, guys, thanks again. This has been a ton of fun, as always, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.